Hi, I'm back with another video. I'm here with a basin of water. This is a spiritual bath. This is what I do for myself and for clients. So, okay, first of all, if you think you have a situation, a crossed condition, be it if you think someone has put a hex on your relationship, or someone has, even the evil eye, simple jealousy can be enough to uh, throw off your life, things like that. Some people don't really believe that, but yeah, the evil eye, just someone just being pure jealous of you is enough to, derail things. Let me see, in a reading, if something has turned up that, yeah, you have indeed been hexed, cursed, jinxed, or whatever, you could do this at home. I do this differently from some folks because there's always the element of, you know, getting the water from a Catholic church or whatever, but I bless this water myself because I work with Holy Death, Santissima Muerte. I get Santissima Muerte's blessing on the water. So I filled it up to about here, and I have some fresh herbs. I have some basil, some rosemary, and some mint. Everyone uses different herbs, I'm sure, but that's what I use. So I'm going to put in the mint. First of all, everything smells really nice. And I do like to make big bowls because sometimes I would get a few baths out of this. And I do this regularly, especially because I do a lot of dark workings. And, Holy Death, in my opinion, does keep me pretty much protected, cleansed. But it's always good to do that extra bit. Even if you're doing a love spell, I always emphasize this, even if it's a love spell, it is still you trying to control the will of someone. So that is still controlling energy, and therefore, it's important just to keep yourself cleansed, your aura cleansed. Okay. I'm putting in some basil and some rosemary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hands in. You could put this through a blender, but I prefer just to get into the herbs. And I'm drawing out the essence of the herbs, if you know what I mean. So I want to get the water a nice shade of green, because then I know I've drawn the essence out, and we're good to go. So it does take a while, and I won't be sitting here doing this the whole time. But it's important, whilst you do this, to see the negativity coming off you. Also, I have blessed these herbs prior to putting them into the water. I always ask Holy Death to bless the herbs. So I said, yes, you can put them through a blender, or you can boil them up. Everyone is different. Some clients have told me that they boil and take the bath that way and strain the herbs off. Well, if it works for you, who am I to argue? Each to their own is what I always say. So what I'm going to do is give this a good mix, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to get on with it. So just give us a second. Okay, so my water is a nice shade of green, and what I do suggest is that you really get into the herbs and take out the essence by rubbing it like that. If you don't want to take a bath, you can simply just take a chunk of this out and rub yourself down with it. Rub your arms, always going down the way, right down to the soles of your feet, top of your head to the soles of your feet, and then put that into a bag. Once you're finished rubbing, put it into a plastic bag, and you must dump it, because this is taking the negativity off you. So it's important to trash it, because there's no point hanging on to it, because it's negativity and it will breed more negativity. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put in a tiny bit of cascarilla, which is powdered eggshell. Again, this is very good for cleansing the aura, keeping things rolling. Alum powder is good for providing, if you've got a spirit attachment or something along the lines of that, alum powder is quite good for showing light to that spirit and making that spirit, drawn towards the light and finding its way and, detaching itself from you. And a little bit of camphor, again, really good for getting rid of jinxes and crossed conditions. Just want to mix this up a bit. I've got a few powders that I make myself and put into tiny little bags. I don't see why I shouldn't add a few. Also, some Florida water and some rose oil. It's up to you. You don't need all these things. If you can't get, because someone did say in the comments section that they couldn't get, that I was very in depth with all my with all my herbs and powders and things. I have to do that because I'm going out of my way to help clients. But if you see something, just put it in the comment section. Is there anything you can omit? And I'll get back to you. Magic is always about what you can, what you've got to hand, especially kitchen witchcraft, folk magic and stuff like that. I don't call myself a hoodoo worker. I need to make that clear. Some people seem to think that I'm not that. I'm just an occultist, a witch, if you like. I have studied a lot of pathways, but I don't find that I'm a root worker or anything like that. I can't, give myself that title. I work magic. As you know, I'm very familiar with many spirits from many different paradigms. So, that doesn't fall into the hoodoo character, or I can't really talk, category. So, just to clarify, because I know some people have been asking, what type of magic is this? It's just magic, Anyway, I did say rose water because I like, where is it? I like the simpleness of rose water. I think I need to get some more of that, but not to worry. Yeah, it's practically done. So yeah, we're using, just to recap, basil. Basil is it's sacred herb in India. Really good for luck, money, happiness, happiness in the home especially. Rosemary, very good for protection. If you've got blocked pathways, that's really good for clearing the negativity out of the way. I've heard people say energy vampires. I think that's very true. Rosemary is good for, people that are very draining on the self, which is in itself a real problem. I get that a lot in my life, and especially in this job. I do a lot of spell work, but a lot of the time, most of my clients are very nice people, but a lot of them can be energy vampires. Might as well be honest. So, with that said, I'm going to add in a little bit of peace powder. And have we anything else? Yes, I need Himalayan salt, pink Himalayan salt. I had it a minute ago, it was right in front of me. This always happens. You're in such a small place. Where did it go to? One moment. Got it. So salt is good. Again, very good for cleansing, and negativity cannot cross salt. So even if you don't have the herbs, put salt in your bath water. Even if you don't take baths and all you have is a shower, sprinkle it along the base of the shower and take your bath, shower, whatever it is. When you're doing this, I just want to make sure, if you're mixing, do it in a clockwise manner, because anything clockwise, I always see it as positive. So if you're going to put this into your bath water, you can strain it, like I said, and just use the residue. But you need to tip this. If you're taking a shower, you need to lift this and you need to tip this over your head. And you need to air dry, no towel dry, air dry, and dump the water if it's down the plug hole or whatever. And the herbs, get rid of them. That's my opinion. Some people may vary. I've heard people taking it to the crossroads and stuff. Whatever floats your boat. But also, I just like to say that you can put this into a spray bottle. Obviously, strain it and put it in a spray bottle, and that'll clear your negativity, which is really good. So that's what I've got. I'm actually, before I finish, I'm nearly finished. It's my little wall of fire. And this is curse protection powder. Just use a little bit of it. I bag these up for clients, and the clients that live locally. That's crazy because I really need to start making bigger bags. They're too small. Okay. So that is ready. So what I'm going to do, I've got a jar that I have completely cleansed out. So the client has given me a list of names, and what we're going to do, if I can open the lid, that is put some of this bath on top of the names because she wants some people that are connected to her cleansed. So I'm just gonna, this is being completely cleansed out, so I'm just gonna put some in like so. Making sure I've got a bit of the, okay. I could have made doll babies, but because there's so many people, it's too much. So I've got the names, and I know it'll all disintegrate, but it doesn't matter. The intention is there for all these people to be cleansed of all magic, all negativity, all evil eye, whatever it may be. So that goes in there. And I'm going to pop a lid on that. And I will be burning a white candle on top of that. And that will go on for a few nights, quite a few nights actually. I should mention that when you do this, so like I said, I'm going to repeat myself, basil is very good. It's a sacred herb in India. It's good for luck, money, happiness, peace in home, things like that. Rosemary, again, very good for protection. It'll block, it's good for removing blockages. People that drain you, I find that, especially in my job, majority of clients are really nice, but you do get clients that can be very draining. So rosemary, that's very good for that. Mint, that's very good for breaking hexes or jinxes or cross conditions in general. Any tricks that may be laid. It's great for removing the evil eye or any magic. The salt, it's good. Negativity cannot cross salt. So pink Himalayan salt is good because I find the pink one, it's very good for balancing out the emotional state as well. This needs to go over your head. If you are taking a shower, lift that head to toe, throw it on top of you whilst you see all the negativity coming off you. You can make a little statement, affirmation. You could include your deities. Like I said, Santisima Muerte I work with, I include her big time in this. If it's the angels, I don't know, the saints, whoever you work with, call them in to help you remove whatever blockages is there. So yeah, I've put in some camphor, some almond powder. Those are all really good. Even that crown blue little squares are good as well for cleansing and removing lower level entities that may attach themselves to you. You could even put this into a spray bottle, remove the clumps and put the remainder into a spray bottle, spray your room. That will instantly clear it of negativity. Like I said earlier, you can use chunks of it to clean yourself down. Once you're done, always remember to bag the remainder that you've cleaned yourself, go from the top of yourself right down to the bottom, cleaning off, see all the negativity coming off you. And then with this, you want to put that in a bag and trash it because your negativity is contained in that once you clean yourself off. The same if you're taking a bath in it. If you're putting the actual herbs in, always make sure that they're trashed. There's no point saving any of that. No point at all. You'll just create, like I said before, more crossed conditions. So yeah, this is really good for removing the evil eye. So in this jar, I've put the names of the people that the client wants cleansed, and I could have made little doll babies, but there's too many people and it just wouldn't suit. So I've put some of the mixture in the jar like so, and I'll be burning a white candle on this jar, and it'll be a bigger candle, but it's just to show you that will clear them of, and refresh their aura even at a distance. I think that works. But for the likes of me, I do this constantly because the way I dabble in magic a lot, especially negative magic. So it's important to do that. And I find that, it's important to, once you have this done, bind that enemy, be it in a mirror box or some sort of box that you have them, bound so that they can't throw any more magic. Mirror boxes are good. You could even put yourself in a mirror box for protection, because any magic, the mirror will bounce it right back. Or you could put them in the mirror box so that their magic bounces back to them, and put in some nasty herbs and bits and pieces. So there's 2 ways you can use mirror boxes. I will cover that in a video actually. But it's important to get a binding on that person. It may take a few attempts. Like I keep saying that magic's, to me anyway, magic is not a one-trick pony. There's times when you just have to do things a few times. It's one time, sometimes it just takes a few spells to get you where you're at. Because at the end of the day, if it was one spell, I mean, this world would be different. We'd all be, us magicians would be, or occultists, or whatever you want to call us. Everything would be, it would be different. So you just have to try things a few times and keep yourself protected. So I like to do this frequently, like I said, and I'm starting to ramble on a bit. So yeah, you could make a doll baby of yourself and someone else, and you could put yourself in that so that you're continuously, I don't know how long this will stay fresh for, but you could do it for a few weeks so that you're constantly in the spiritual bath, and then refresh it. And that way, you and your loved ones are always going to be cleansed. It's important to baptize the little doll babies as well, because otherwise they're just cloth dolls. You need to baptize them, and I will do a video on how to do that because I'm getting a lot of people asking that. So yeah, I mean, it's effective, it's really good, and give it a go. I'm always interested to hear your feedback. So just recapping, there's basil in that, there's rosemary, there's mint, there's camphor, there's alum powder, pink Himalayan salt, and some of my curse protection powder, some of my wall of fire powder, some peace powder, and I'm sure I've forgotten something, rose water and Florida water. Amend it to suit yourself, whatever herbs you think are right. That's what I like to use, especially when I'm doing a client job. So that will sit on Holy Death's altar, and we can see how things go. And I will send this over to the client. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me. I don't want this video to go on too long because I'm aware my videos can be very time consuming. It's thehouseofmagick@gmail.com, and I'll speak to you all again soon.